Call the meeting to order. Roll call of Alderman.
Alderman Heisler.
Here.
Alderman Kinsella.
Here.
Alderman Meyer.
Here.
Alderman Schmidt.
Here.
Alderman Ridgewitz.
Here.
Alderman Randall.
Here.
Alderman Anthony.
Here.
Alderman Davidson.
Here.
Alderman Silsby.
Here.
Alderman Hayden.
Here.
Alderman Seibert.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Alderman Galletti. Alderman Musgrove.
Here.
Alderman Orlett. Alderman Schneider.
Here.
Alderman Arlett called. He was unable to be here tonight, so he's excused. Roll call of department heads.
Police Chief Clay. Fire Chief Poor. City Attorney Horner.
Here.
Ken Vaughn. Royce Carlisle. Jamie Matrit. Tim Gregowitz. Jim Schneider. Leander Spearman. Chuck Schaefer. Bob Sabo. Debbie Belleville. City Treasurer Hart.
Here.
Did you get our new lady? Anissa McCaskill?
No, I apologize. We don't have you on the list yet, but welcome.
Anissa McCaskill is here. The police chief's excused. I don't know if he'll stroll in or not. Everybody else, I think, is present tonight. With that said, if everyone would please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no public hearing this evening, so at this time I would open public participation. I'd ask that you raise your hand. I will call on you, and I will ask you to keep your comments to 2 to 3 minutes. Please state your name at the microphone and try to keep it on to what's on tonight's agenda, if at all possible, because we're trying to strive for that. So at this time I open public participation. Anyone like to speak this evening? Yes, sir.
Michael Hagberg, 701 Centerville Avenue. At the economic development meeting the other day, there was comments about having to have a TIF in order to repair roads in the city. And I just want to clarify it that there's a lot of CDBG money that's available to fix roads in much of the city, not all of the city because it doesn't all qualify for it. There's also MFT funds that could be used to fix roads or infrastructure anywhere in the city. And you also have $1.2 million coming in from the 0.25% sales tax each and every year. It could also be used to fix the sides and or streets and sidewalks. So the question is for the people that want to say that, you know, we're against TIFs and we're naysayers, we need TIFs in order to fix our streets. I'd have to say, you know, who spoke up during the budget workshops for CDBG to decide how the city was going to spend their allotment? Or every month, or every, I think, 2 weeks, you guys allot MFT funds to projects. Who speaks up to say which streets get fixed in mine? You know, TIF is not the only way that we can fix infrastructure in this city. There's many other forms of revenue that are valid to be used, and those should be looked at before just creating more TIFs and expanding TIFs. Thank you.
Anyone else this evening? Yes, sir.
Rick Brown, 125 Lucia Lane, Shiloh, Illinois. I understand there was some kind of a letter or flyer that was sent out in Ward 1 over there about Lillian Schneider and how the way she votes and everything. And, you know, I guess Mr. Kinsella was the one that passed them out. That's true. Isn't it a little beneath you to go in another ward and to pass out literature, you know, disparaging a woman like that? I just think that's, you know. Second thing, this election in Ward 4 is all screwed up now. We got a guy that was pushed onto the ballot by the mayor in order to be another yes man, and you know, it was kind of crammed down the voters' throats. You know, it's just this is one more reason why there needs to be some changes
Point of
up
order,
here.
this doesn't have anything to do with the council, it would be the state electoral.
Ma'am, my First Amendment right, the Constitution
Mr. Brown.
allows me to speak.
Okay, Mr. Brown, take your time and finish your remarks, and I'll give you another 30 seconds. Let's finish it up.
But you know, the way this thing was done, you were in contact with Alex McHugh, 38 times on the phone in 25 days, you know, during this, and right up until an hour before the objection hearing. You're also in contact with his attorney on the phone. Now, how in the world can you sit up there and be an election judge, a judge over something? They'd never let something like that go in St. Clair County Court, where a judge, you know, is on the phone with the attorney and with a client, you know, for this. You should have totally disqualified yourself on that. But that's the way it works here. And we got to get past this stuff. We got to get some new people in here that think about the city, you know, for a change. Because right now we got 3 people running in this ward over here and 4. And somebody's going to get screwed out of this thing. And you know, the election has been changed because of this. Now Holbrook kind of, when he looked at the election stuff on McHugh, he thought there was problem enough that he gave it to Brendan Kelly. Brendan Kelly hasn't done anything on it, but that's pretty well figures. But, you know, you guys just, you trash people, you know, and I just, that's one of the things I don't like about Romanek on his show, the way he trashes women. And, you know, and you know, if you can't do it to her face, you know, don't do it behind her back.
Yes, sir, in the back of the room.
Stuart Lanner, 318 South 29th Street, Belleville. Well, it looks like the rules have been changed all of a sudden. We no longer have this word integrity and honesty, which I'm glad to see, because it's obvious that the good government party doesn't practice that. And now it seems like the aldermen allowed to jump up and shut somebody up if they don't like what they're saying. I thought that used to be the mayor's prerogative. Okay, now I'll start with what I had to say. Roger Wigington disagreed with the good government party, and he is called a lowlife, loser, and liar. I always thought Roger was an upstanding citizen that had nothing but good for things for Belleville. Multiple pensions, which Dorothy made a big to-do about, is a Democrat perk as long as they follow the party line. Now, Alex McHugh, he's a small-time felon and con man and full-time
Okay,
loser.
Mr.
backed by mayor.
Mr. Lanter.
Well, it's true.
Okay,
No,
no, you don't.
He's a con
no, look
man
at,
and a felon, simple as that.
no,
No, he
no,
isn't.
no, you're
He
not.
is too.
You're, Mr.
Okay,
Lanter.
he was convicted of a felony.
No, he wasn't.
No,
That is not true at all.
Well, how
if
come
you got
that-
okay, if you have some documentation of that,
Okay, the chief one time brought up my record and said that I had a battery charge against me, but there was no battery charge against me because they didn't even take it to court. I never had a chance to plead guilty or not guilty, but being they wrote it up, it goes on my record as a battery. Now, okay, enough for McHugh. I noticed Paul Seibert's got probably an illegal campaign sign right down on that fence down there by the 10th in Washington.
okay, Stuart, you're going down a laundry list. Is there anything pertaining to the night's agenda or for the good of the city? Anything
Good
else?
of the city, I don't think calling people names is good for the city. And having
I couldn't agree
felons-
with you more.
And having felons running for office.
Okay, Stuart, is that the last of your topics?
Okay, the Shriners Parade. Now, before you jump on me about the Shriners, I've donated $100 a month for perpetuity to the Shriners just the other day, $1,200 a year, till I told them to stop it. But anyway, after the Shriners Parade is done, all these low-class people, and evidently that's what they must be because it looks like a trash dump going down Belleville after the parade. I was always taught to pick up your junk when you go into, as a Boy Scout or anything else, you pick up and take out what you brought in. You just don't throw your beer cans and soda cans and used diapers all over the street. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Rose Wilson, 322 West I Street, Belleville. with all of the complaints going back and forth, I just want to say civility goes two ways. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody else this evening? Because hearing none, I'm going to close public participation. We're going to move on, and the next part of the meeting, we're going to ask Madison Langen, member of the Basic Youth Board, will recognize the character word of the month. Madison, help us out.
The character word for this month is cooperation, and it means working together in a peaceful way.
Thanks, Madison. We appreciate you being here. I didn't, but let the record show that Chief Clay is here. I figured he was coming, but I wasn't for certain, so let that show. He's been here for a while. Okay, at this time, I have a brief proclamation. It's not real long, but I want to read it. I was asked to do this, and I think this is very important. It really, Madison, you might want to stay, at least listen to this, because it talks a lot about volunteers, and Basic Youth Board is definitely some great volunteers. This proclamation states, whereas service to others is a hallmark of American character and central to how we meet our challenges, and whereas the nation's mayors are increasingly turning to national service and volunteerism as a cost-effective strategy to meet city needs, and whereas AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants address the most pressing challenges facing our cities and counties, from educating students for the jobs of the 21st century and supporting veterans and military families to providing health services and helping communities recover from natural disasters. And whereas national service expands economic opportunity by creating more suitable, resilient communities and providing education, career skills, and leadership abilities for those who serve. And whereas AmeriCorps and Senior Corps participants serve in more than 60,000 locations across our country, bolstering the civic, neighborhood, and faith-based organizations that are so vital to our economic and social well-being. And whereas national service participants increase the impact of the organizations they serve with both through their direct service and by recruiting and managing millions of additional volunteers. And whereas national service represents a unique public-private partnership that invests in community solutions and leverages non-federal resources to strengthen community impact and increase the return on taxpayer dollars. And whereas the national service participants demonstrate commitment, dedication, and patriotism by making an intense commitment to service, a commitment that remains with them in the future and in their future endeavors. And whereas the Corporation for National Community Service shares a priority with mayors nationwide to engage citizens, improve lives, and strengthen communities, and is joining with the National League of Cities of Service and mayors across the country to recognize the impact of the service on the Mayor's Day of Recognition for National Service, which is April 7, 2015. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mark W. Eckert, Mayor of the City of Belleville, do hereby proclaim April 7, 2015 as National Service Recognition Day and encourage residents to recognize the positive impact of national service in our city, to thank those who serve, and to find ways to give back to their communities. We're very blessed to have AmeriCorps and a strong senior program with PSOP, and they're the ones that asked me to put this proclamation together, and I just think we owe them a round of applause for all their service throughout this city. Is anyone here from PSOP tonight or from AmeriCorps? Okay, I will see that they get this. Again, Madison, we thank you because we know that our Basic Youth Board is really following in these footsteps of service, and they do many outstanding service projects and donate money back to charitable groups. So thank you, and please extend that to the Basic Initiative. At this time, I'm going to ask Mike Christ and Josh from both Lawrence Group and Impact Strategies to come forward and make a presentation, an update. Kenny Vaughn might be tossed into the mix if he's needed, to talk about our project with the 720 West Main the improvements, the ADA improvements here at 101 South Illinois, and then the new police garage at 103 South 7th. Gentlemen, I don't know who wants to go first, but if you want to give us a quick overview on what we got in the packet tonight.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, and audience. My name is Josh Mandel. I'm an architect with Lawrence Group. We've presented to you before, and I'm here, as the Mayor indicated, to go through a quick brief of the status, scope, objectives, and the cost overall project budget for the 3 phases. Likewise, we'll talk about the garage redesign, as it were. There's an enlarged board that is the 4 exterior elevations of the garage. I believe each of you has a 10 or 12-page document in your agenda tonight that has what I'll go over. To get right into it, the project of construction for the police department headquarters, the renovations to City Hall, and the construction of a police garage is divided into 3 phases. In that order, phase number 1 is the police headquarters, which is an adaptive reuse of 720 West Main. The scope objectives that are indicated in the agenda packet are as follows, and I'll take questions at the end if there are any, but we are aiming to accommodate the police department in a single facility rather than being split into multiple buildings. The program within 720 West Main, once renovated, will include a forensic evidence lab. The 911 dispatch function will be housed within the building. There will be a sally port for the secure transfer of detainees. The overall facility will include a modern and accessible, meaning ADA accessible, detention facility. Both the sally port and the dispatch building, which are additions to the building as you see it today, will be built as tornado shelters. The program also includes a community classroom on the first floor for 60 persons, and the building overall will be a secure building relative to how it is right now, which is accessible to the public through multiple doors. It'll actually have security features on most of the doors, whereas the lobby will still be publicly accessible. Phase 2 is renovations and upgrades at City Hall. Again, going through the bulleted scope items that are identified. The demolition of the title building, which is 10 West Washington, which is where the police administration is currently located, to allow us to build an accessible entry on the west side of the atrium or the lobby volume here at City Hall. Accessible toilets on all floors. We will upgrade and expand council chambers that we're meeting in today, including security upgrades that will provide for a secondary means of egress, upgrades to lighting and finishes throughout the facility, improvement of the west parking lot, which will increase the quantity of spaces and allow for better flow of traffic through, as well as connecting with that accessible entry to the building, replacement of the elevator in the north wing of City Hall, and it says environmental cleanup. We're talking about removal of asbestos-containing materials, lead paint, etc. The third phase is the only new construction outright. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Phase 2 has some deferred pieces that were talked about as part of this project and are not being carried out now, but plans are allowing for them to occur in the future. So deferred scope here at City Hall includes the housing and engineering departments, which are currently located at 407 East Lincoln, remaining at 407 East Lincoln, and not relocating to City Hall currently, but the building will accommodate them in the future, if that makes sense. And then the existing police department space within this wing of City Hall remains unoccupied currently, and that those two things are intermingled. It allows for housing and engineering to move into that space in the future. Now, if you bear with me, phase 3, the parking garage, is the new construction portion of our project. It is a single-level indoor parking garage for police vehicles only, not personal vehicles, but marked vehicles, tactical vehicles, and so forth. There are spaces for cruisers, SUVs, parking enforcement, and tactical vehicles, as I mentioned. There's the mechanics service area, which is relocated program from 510 West Main, including service lifts, oil tire and battery changing type operation. There is an armory and a gun cleaning area. And then the garage actually includes deferred scope, which is the shooting range, which was originally part of the project program, is no longer part of the project within the garage. So that is identified as deferred scope. And if I can ask you to carry on with me to the next page in your packet, the plan is shown at a relatively small scale to indicate that the shooting range is no longer part of the plan for the garage. And you can see the rough layout of the garage is consistent with what you've seen in the past, which is a double-loaded driveway with parking space for cruisers, small vehicles, tactical vehicles. The armory is located in the lower right-hand corner, and then the mechanics service area is in the lower left-hand corner. And then if you transition with me to the next page, and if you want to follow along on the board, the east elevation of the garage shows two roll-up doors, two sectional overhead doors in that left-hand end of the east elevation, east being the part of the building that faces on Richland Creek. Those two roll-up doors are for that mechanics service and car wash area within the garage. If you look at the next elevation, that shows the west elevation, which is oriented towards the tree line. And then on the following page are the north and south elevations of the garage. And the thing I want to conclude on, in terms of my brief to you this evening, is to explain materiality. We have in previous presentations discussed brick, the use of brick on the garage building. On the east elevation, the entire wall surface would be brick from ground up until the roof eave. On this, I'll go to the west elevation next. On the west elevation, which faces to the tree line and towards 8th Street, the brick would wrap the corners and then drop down to 4 feet above finished grade with pre-finished metal panels there up to the roof line. On the last graphic page of your packet, the north and south elevations have brick up to what I will refer to as the eave line, so that point where the roof meets the wall, and then from the top of brick, which is at 9'4" above finished grade, up into the eave of the roof is the pre-finished metal panel, and the sectional overhead doors as well as the man doors are all painted tan color, as is the roof. The pre-finished metal panels are painted to match the brick. And then I will kind of take a breath before we go into the master control budget.
Just to kind of explain, when we took the shooting range out of the plan at this point, they redesigned the garage because it didn't need to be designed exactly as it was. So when they did that, the gabling's different, and having brick 100% on the ends, they have advised us that that's not as easy to do and not they believe this is the best way to do the two ends now. It's, I'd say probably Josh, we probably got 80% brick, close to, or, well, take the door out of the equation, but from what we had before, as far as brick goes, it's probably.
Yeah, and allowing for the west side, it's tough to put a fraction to it, but obviously we're covering on the north, south, and east, which were, I think, deemed by the
Public.
To be the most visible. In our planning and zoning review meeting, that's kind of the comments led towards, the visible portions of the building being clad in brick.
When you approved this before, you approved all brick on the east side and the two ends. And what you see here tonight is what you approved on the west side. So all we're asking tonight, later in the meeting, is that we're basically amending or changing that ordinance so that the two ends of the building have just a little less brick, but still have a significant amount of brick, but it's a new roof design that's, was it a hip roof or?
Gable.
Gabled roof. So, and that makes it just what they're recommending for us to consider. Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple parts to this question. So if the shooting range is totally out, how hard would it be to ever put one in?
What we're talking about, after much discussion, first of all, taking the shooting range out saves the project $500,000 right off the bat. So cost was a big factor, okay? The second thing we got talking about more and more, we can't be 100% sure that some noise isn't going to be heard, and from the back side of the garage to the homes is not a great distance. And we can't be 100% sure that some noise isn't going to be heard. We've talked about this, and we figure that in due time, once we get this project, these 3 phases, up, and we can look at future funds, that we could possibly look at partnering with some other agencies, as we've talked already. And as I told the staff, we have additional acres on Freeburg Avenue down by the sanitation building that would be really no impact about anyone hardly around them compared to this at all. And it might just be a better location to have a shooting range, so if they bring in guys at 2 o'clock in the morning on the night shift to qualify, and there is some popping that they can hear, out there it's not gonna be impacting, whereas this one here, you know, could be possibly, we can't be 100% sure. So part of it right now is cost savings, and second of all, we think maybe the other location might be better potentially. Yes, sir.
May I ask, why is the armor in the parking lot?
The armory, they just talked about the, Chief, you want to address that? Why is it in the garage?
Well, it's a good location, and how they plan on using that space. And I will tell you that at first, when we were thinking about this, we were thinking about the shooting range as well, that was gonna be in there. But the location is still good because of how you guys are gonna construct that with the concrete walls and all the things that we need to have to house that stuff. And it's a lot of equipment, and it's a good place for it. If we would try to use it in the facility that we have now, there is a lot of valuable space that we would have to take out of that building that's basically for storage. It's just for secure storage. So that works better for us to have the armory there. And as well as that, we also keep our armored vehicles, and all of our SWAT stuff is kept there well, so it'll all be together.
So they could load it right there. The building's gonna be very secure, it's gonna be camera alarmed, it's going to be, you know, very secure, plus the compound is gonna be secure. Right now, you can walk into the police, you can walk right up to the doors. You're not gonna be able to just roam around this compound. It's gonna have, you know, fences, et cetera, that you're not gonna be able to get off the trail, for example, and cut through the police department compound. We're not gonna have that. So there'll be a much more secure designated area. But for as far as loading the vehicles, if they have to go out and activate the SWAT team, they'll be right there in that, same.
We'll keep also our weapons that we have, rifles, and we have shotguns and so forth in the vehicles. And now that we're gonna actually put the vehicles in there, we'll be able to take those items out and put them right into the armor, right there. So it just works all the way.
While they work on the cars, et cetera. Okay? Other questions? You want to go through the master control budget?
Sure. So I think it's the second to last page, third to last page maybe, is the budget page, master control budget. There are 3 primary sections in this spreadsheet. The very top line is design costs. I'll read you the subtotal. That's 1.585083. So that's the contract amount that's been approved so far. There is the building construction costs. We just went through the 3 phases for the project. The partial totals for these are 8,990,000, so 8,990,000 for the phase 1. 2,256,000, so 2.256 million for the city hall renovations and upgrades. And the parking garage is currently estimated at 2,122,000, so 2,122,000. The hard cost construction subtotal therefore is 13,368,000, so 13,368,000. And then under other costs, something very important to identify is that project contingency, which I don't think I know the percentage, but there's at this point, a commensurate contingency with the level of design decisions that have been made that is included with that 13,368 number. And that means that once the project is bid competitively in the open market, we expect some of that contingency cost to flush out. In other words, that 13,368,000 number would reduce. Contingency is there for that purpose, but also for the purpose of the unknown during construction. So that is why it's included with the 13,368,000 number. There is a $210,000 line item for computer 911 equipment phone systems. There is a $3,185,000 line item for the acquisition of the 720 West Main site and the site as well for the 103 South 7th Street garage. And there is a $207,550 bond issuance cost, so the financing cost for the bonds. And then construction and bond interest costs are zero. The subtotal therefore is $3,602,550, so 3.6 million. And then the total project budget, the reason why we total all these up, is 18,555,633, so $18,555,633. That is the estimate for all three phases of work with associated soft costs and contingency as it stands today. And then, just to reiterate, one other thing is this project, I know that's the subject of a request for motion tonight, but the project has not been competitively bid yet. And the idea is that this is a conservative number as far as where we are today with design for City Hall, design for police headquarters, and design for garage.
And as in all the meetings, in working with Impact and with the Lawrence Group, they've reiterated many times that they're using very conservative numbers when they feel that these numbers after bidding and as we move forward, that this price we will get closer to the 18 million. There was also some other good news that we don't want to really talk about all the different moving parts, but another area that they were a part of the remodeling of 720, some stuff that they found out the other day that I think we're going to find the price to go down on the one area. Some of the protective things that we need that we're looking at, far as glazing, et cetera. We feel real good that number is going to come in lower than what we anticipated too. So we feel like we're going to be real close when it's all said and done, or pretty doggone close to the 18 million. But it's a budget. They're going to get ready to go. I wanted a motion tonight because we had to make the decision, and the chief, I think, is very clear that he's okay with the shooting range at this time. What he was very clear on is that he didn't want to, if at all possible, make any cuts into the police station, that they felt that everything that they had worked with the architect and the Impact on as far as designing into there, that they really felt good about, and they didn't want to compromise that. But while I had said all along, I was certainly very interested in getting housing over here. It just will have to be another phase. What you will see here, though, as he said, the council chambers will go back all the way back to where it says police on the wall and the other out in the hall. Upstairs, there'll be a mezzanine of about 25 to 30 seats. This will all be made new in here. We will no longer have benches with ashtrays on the back of them, and the ceiling won't leak anymore because the air conditioning and all the condensation will all be straightened out, and so we'll have, and we're going to be replacing those ceiling tile and floor tile that have asbestos, and likewise they're going to redo the floor in the lobby. While it's beautiful, it has many cracks in the terrazzo floor, and it needs to be repaired. The revolving door will remain on Washington, kind of as a nostalgic, and it's a very good, efficient as far as weather, as far as the flow of things, as far as being conscientious on climate control. But the back one will come out. There'll be a new handicap entrance. That area will all be made totally handicap to where the building comes down. They're going to raise that up, and the handicap parking will be, and then it'll be a retaining wall to go down to the old lot, the way it's filling out. There's some new HVAC and electrical and lighting in this building on both floors that need to be addressed, and we felt very strongly that those things needed to be fixed before we would get into expanding and remodeling the old police station for future offices. We didn't know originally how it would come in, but getting everything at 720 that we felt we needed to have a state-of-the-art police station and to get these ADA and life safety things dealt with here at City Hall. We feel we have a very good plan, but I wanted you tonight to be able to see it, ask questions, and hopefully give the architect and the the construction manager permission to move forward because they'd like to get bidding so that they can get the garage started. The attorneys who are in our building, I think, will be out by the end of April, and we're still hoping that Bank of Belleville is moving in sometime end of July, and that we will have the total building then. We'll be able to start beforehand, but we'll be able to get completely under 100% construction, we feel like, by the 1st of August. So, any questions for Josh or for Mike Christ? Any questions at all? A little later on then, you'll see a motion to allow them to proceed with the scope as you had in your packets and as we had here. It's not really all that different from what we've talked about, but it's a little bit more refined now. And they'll be here when we get to the vote for a little longer that we can, if something comes up. But I thank you for the presentation and for the update, and we'll move forward then, okay?
Thank you.
At this time, we move into the regular portion of the council meeting. The council meeting minutes for March 16th and March 25th. As there, I see we have a note here. Let's do the 16th first. There's a thing on the desk. Do I hear a motion to approve the 16th? And was this?
With corrections.
With the corrections?
With these corrections. Yeah.
With these corrections.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Kinsella.
Second.
By Alderman Heisler to approve and file the March 16th minutes, noting the corrections that were placed on your desk, okay? There's a motion and a second. Any further questions about that motion? All in favor of approving the motion and have these, the March 16th minutes filed for review, accepted and filed? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. March 25th, do I hear a similar motion? Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Heisler. Do I hear any discussion on the 25th? All in favor of accepting and filing the 25th minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Claims, payroll, and disbursements, what's your pleasure?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to pay the claims, payrolls, and disbursements. So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Heisler, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Schmidt, do I hear discussion on the claims or payroll? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Randall. Anthony. Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Oral reports. Solicitor's license, I'm looking for a motion to approve the request of Darren Petro to solicit investments for Edward Jones. Do I hear a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt, do I hear a second? Second. Second by Alderman Anthony, do I hear any discussion? All in favor of approving this gentleman signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Your Honor, I'd
Yes.
like to abstain because I work for a competing firm.
Very duly noted. That's an appropriate abstention. Motion carries. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve the public building improvements and master control budget for these three phases. Phase 1, 720 West Main Street Police Headquarters. Phase 2, 101 South Illinois City Hall. And Phase 3, 103 South 7th Street Police Parking Garage, as presented by the Lawrence Group and Impact Strategies a few moments ago.
So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Hayden, second by Alderman Schmidt. Discussion. Yes, ma'am.
Phase 3, the parking garage, I would like to vote on that separately.
Okay. So we'd have the motion for Phase 1 and 2.
For Phase 1 and 2 then.
Okay. If there's, everybody agrees, second as well. We have a motion to approve Phase 1 and 2. If there's no further questions, roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Randall. Anthony. Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove. Schneider.
Aye.
Phases 1 and 2 passes. Do I hear a motion now to approve Phase 3?
Second.
Motion by Alderman Hayden, second by Alderman Seibert to approve Phase 3, which is the 103 South 7 parking garage. Do I hear any discussion on that? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. As it was stated, I vote no too much. So now I'm going to state the reason why, if the B&D will even print it, I doubt. But the reason is, right now with the economy and the governor going to do all the cuts that there are, the parking garage is not that necessity when they can still use the old Jack Schmidt garage. When the economy gets better, we have the ground. It then can be built. Now it's no.
Okay, it's your opinion? We have a motion, we have a second to proceed with Phase 3 also as presented here tonight. No further discussion, roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove. Schneider.
No.
Ayes have it. The next motion, I'd ask for a motion requesting approval of a special use variance in order to use metal siding for the Belleville Police Department private parking garage at 103 South 7th, located in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district, was hereby granted with stipulations. It was originally granted to have full brick on the two ends, and this just modifies it as spelled out tonight.
So moved, yeah.
Motion by Alderman Hayden, second by Alderman Schmidt. Any further discussions on that modification? All in favor, we better have a roll call. Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove. Schneider.
No.
Ayes have it. Motions and recommended by the zoning board. You want to do that one there, Dallas?
Yes. Number 11, January 15, the Nucleus Training Center requesting a sign installation permit for area of special control in order to place two 2x4 window decals and one 18x18 window decal at 110 Muscuda Avenue located in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district. Applicable portion of zoning code 53-4-1, Ward 7. This case was tabled at the January and February 2015 Zoning Board of Appeals, ordinance number 7853.
I hear a motion to approve this zoning board recommendation.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Anthony, do I hear a second? Second. Second by Alderman Galletti, do I hear discussion? All in favor of this motion is recommended, yes, ma'am?
Was there any people there to object to this? Because this is the training center where earlier last year that the people were complaining about the noise of them dropping the weights and that. Was there any objection to this?
Is anybody? There was none that I know of. This was about the signage, right? So I don't believe the people, I think they've got a disorderly conduct charge that's pending in court right now for the noise. But I don't believe, to my knowledge, when I asked Cassie and others, I don't believe anyone came to the meeting from the neighborhood complaining about the sign. If anybody in here can tell me differently, I was not at the zoning board meeting that night. Anybody tell me, I believe that's a correct statement. So, we have a motion and a second to approve this recommendation from the zoning board and have the proper ordinance drawn.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
Was this not tabled by unanimous vote of all members?
It was in January and February,
In January and February, so.
and they heard it in March.
Okay.
Correct, Eric? So they heard it in March, and now it's coming forward. Okay? So we have a motion and a second to accept and have the proper ordinance drawn, this recommendation for their sign. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries.
11B2, 3 February 15, Angelina Brown, Kaleidoscope Cafe, requesting a sign installation permit for the area of special control in order to install a 16x3 vinyl sign onto the awning at 121 East Main Street, located in the C2 heavy commercial zoning district. Applicable portion of zoning code 53-4-1, Ward 2. This case was tabled at the February 2015 Zoning Board of Appeals.
Move to make a motion to comply with the request.
Motion by Alderman Meyer, second by
Have the
Alderman,
proper ordinance drawn.
to apply with the request of the zoning board and have the proper ordinance drawn. Note that this also was heard at the March meeting, even though it was tabled in February. Any other questions about this? All in favor of this motion and have the proper ordinance drawn signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is I'd ask for a motion to proceed with the proposed expansion of the East Main Street TIF TIF 17. First of all, ask if there's a motion to put it on the floor.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Motion by Alderman Kinsella, second by Alderman Schmidt. It's in the budget, ladies and gentlemen, that you've had for weeks, an amount, and I wanted to get this out there to see, you know, what the flavor was. So this is, if it passes the budget and would move forward here tonight, it still has to go through all the regular, normal public hearings and all the various meetings before this could ever be done. So this doesn't make it a done deal. This is just to keep it moving if you want to keep it in the budget. Now, one of the things said tonight, Mr. Hayden, I will get to your hand in just real quick. As at the economic development meeting, I stated that night, and when Eric and I were there taking questions of Mr. Narber, that keep in mind, in this area, about 4 blocks, we're trying to plan for redoing Muscuda Avenue in the not-too-distant future. The CDBG maps that were mentioned were just changed, right, Eric? And what Muscuda Avenue at one time was pretty much all in the CDBG is now there's only, what, a third of it? If that. So motor fuel funds have been cut in the past, and they are talking of cutting them even more with the changes in Springfield. And the other one is, what was the other comment? Is another source of funding? Motor fuel and CDBG are the 2 big ones. The thing about, the other real big part about this is, we have 4 public buildings and 2 parking lots that belong to the city in this proposed extension boundary. And right now, unfortunately, if any repairs work, emergencies come up, we wouldn't even have the mechanism to even consider any work other than a general fund. And the general fund, as you all know, sitting on this council, does have virtually no wiggle room for road projects. 80%, Jamie, tell me if I'm wrong, 80% of the general fund is salaries. 78% is salaries. And then you have things like insurance and other main things that have to come out of the general fund to operate. Electric for all the buildings, and gas and electric, et cetera. So by the time you get through the essentials, the general fund has virtually no wiggle room at all. So the only reason this was considered is to have, at least in the future, well, it's not a done deal. It would just be, if you did extend this TIF, it would be an option to consider if at some time this council chose to try to consider before 2028, when TIF 17 is over, right? I think that's the correct date, that we'd at least have an option to look at as far as trying to help that historic neighborhood. As some of you who did come to that committee meeting, I just want to report, because I don't know if it reflected exactly, there was a number of people who came from the neighborhood, the Gustav Kerner Project, and from the Heritage Society that came forward and spoke positive about this consideration, because they're concerned about there's so many empty houses. Now, we don't have many houses outside of Muscuda Avenue put in this. We didn't get big and expand big time. But there are a number of empty businesses on Muscuda Avenue in this area that the TIF might be able to be considered in some small way also as a consideration. So the motion's on the floor, and I just wanted to say that. And who was first? Mr. Hayden?
Yes. Your Honor, was this the only thing that was in our packet, or did I miss?
Is that the map? Was the map the only thing under this right now? Because we don't have a TIF plan yet or anything. It's
Okay.
just, it's basically just to move forward the concept of having it in the budget, and then to move down the road if we want to even consider it.
Can you-
But there's all the steps of approval that have to be done.
Can you, what is in the budget right now?
I think there's $30,000, Jamie, in the budget for to extend the TIF. Next year's proposed budget, there's $30,000 that you've had in your packet for some time that's in there for the possibility of extending this TIF if the council moves in that direction.
Okay, what general, you mentioned, or somebody mentioned tonight, Muscoota Avenue, et cetera. Have we had a detailed budget put together of what these projects would cost, and will this
Well,
expansion in this TIF be able to actually
It couldn't do it all.
those?
It couldn't do it all by any means, and we're gonna look at other grants. We're gonna look at submitting Muscoota Avenue possibly for an STP grant in the future, see if it would qualify. When we found out, we really were planning to do Muscoota Avenue with CDBG. When the map was recently changed, it really knocked the wind out of our sails as far as how we were gonna approach this.
And my other question, Your Honor, then shouldn't, the recommendation came from Economic Development Annexation to the City Council, shouldn't that have recommendation gone to then the Finance Committee, which is meeting, the next meeting, I know they're gonna be discussing the budget, to have that budget issue in the budget and this expansion coincide together, so
You know what, we
that
can
committee-
do that. I don't have a problem with that.
I
If you want to send this to finance, we still have time to take it there on the meeting. I just would like to get a feel from this council, because if not, it's in the budget, and if this council's gonna vote it down, the whole concept of this for moving forward, then there's no sense in take it out of the budget.
I'd like to make a motion to postpone, and let's forward it to the Finance Committee and have this expansion and this map so it can coincide with what is in the Finance Committee, in the budget that's being proposed, so the two will coincide together as they're presented to the City
I don't have any
Council.
heartburn over that. So we have a motion by Alderman Hayden to postpone this motion.
I'll second
And to
it.
send it to
the Finance
finance.
Committee, yeah.
Who seconded?
Me.
Alderman Schneider seconded the motion.
But I
Any-
have,
Yes, ma'am.
I have some comments. Where is the proposal on the TIF 17 itself? What is the balance in this TIF? Has it completed any of the projects this TIF was created for originally? Each year, how much has been spent out of this TIF? Any borrowed from any other TIF, especially like TIF 3? And why are we extending a TIF for the historical house? All there is TIFs borrowing from, if they're borrowing from TIF 3, especially this TIF number 17, when and how will it ever get paid back? All the TIFs seem to be borrowing from TIF 3. Have we any records of showing what total amount has been borrowed from TIF 3 and how much of it has been paid back? We shouldn't be even thinking about voting on anything like this to even proceed it further. We have no information in our packets on this TIF 17, except this map. And how are we gonna get this all paid back? I just think that we're trying to run things through again, and
No, ma'am.
we get condemned for voting no, but we're not given the information that we're supposed to be given to make a sensible decision for an answer. How many people would go and vote like that? I mean, if you want to do that, I'm still gonna say no, because I'm not afraid of the letter that was put out on me.
Alderman Schneider.
No, I have a right to speak. I'm speaking.
Are you finished?
No. Now, yous all condemn me for saying no. Now yous are going to hear why. You don't put it in the letter, but there are reasons why I vote no. For this is one good reason. All we get is a map that you want to extend 17. How about giving us the information? How much money is in there? How much has this TIF accomplished since it's been created? It's no.
Okay. Alderman Davidson.
I may be mistaken, but Dallas, didn't Alderman Snyder second the motion?
It's to postpone it for us to get information.
With discussion? I think, talking with discussion?
Right.
So
I think
the
we can take that
motion
vote
was
if you're asking my opinion.
Pardon me?
I think we can just take that vote if you're asking my opinion. And go ahead and table it if you'd like.
That's what I thought too.
So we have a motion and a second to table this and send it to
Postpone.
finance. Postpone. Anybody else have
And
any
that's gonna
questions
address
about
a lot of those
tabling,
concerns.
postponing? Anybody else have questions about postponing? Yes, sir.
Would this go to next Monday night's
I think it has to go next Monday night's finance, and it would have to come back to council on the 20th. I think, as far as us voting on the budget on the 20th, I think it's a part of that proposal, and we need to at least decide, does it move forward or not? So we have a motion to postpone this until it goes to finance next week, and then bring it back to council on the 20th. Is that okay to include that, ladies and gentlemen? No problem with that included in the motion? That it would come back here for a vote?
Didn't make the motion.
You didn't, you made the motion, you made the second. Is that okay to bring it back here?
Yes, and provided with all the information
And
that we
we'll
need.
get you some more information. I wish you'd have called me this week, because we would have had it. We would have done it. But anyway, we have a motion and a second to postpone and send it to finance and then back to council. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carries. We're moving forward. Communications.
12A, Chiromed, 5th Annual Get Up and Go Biathlon, August 2nd, 2015. Communication from Chiromed requesting permission to hold their 5th Annual Get Up and Go Biathlon on August 2nd, 2015, starting and finishing at Belleville West, utilizing city, county, and state roadways. They are requesting 2 police officers.
You want to do them together? Is there a problem? Read them all.
All right, 12B, Beacon 4th Annual 5K Run Walk, July 25th, 2015. Communication from Beacon requesting permission to hold their 4th Annual 5K Run/Walk on Saturday, July 25th, 2015, beginning at 8 a.m., starting and ending at Belleville West, and asking for the closure of South 17th Street for no more than 45 minutes. They are also asking for barricades and cones and police assistance. 12C, Shriners Parade 5K. Communication from Shriners Parade 5K Committee requesting to hold a 5K prior to the parade starting at 6:30 p.m. from Union United Methodist Church, and also requesting street closures prior to the parade. The committee is a group of volunteers assisting the INAD Shriners to institute another great addition to the yearly Shriners Parade. The 5K committee will be donating proceeds to the Shriners Hospital and Belleville Parks and Recreation summer programs.
I move we grant the request.
Okay, motion by Alderman Meyer. You making a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Alderman Hayden. Do we have any discussion about approving these 3 communications? All in favor of approving the 3 that were just read signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let's see here. Where are we at?
Resolution.
Petitions, we have none. Resolutions, I'd ask for a motion to read by title only, Resolution 3225 and 3226.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Silsby. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear discussion on reading those 2 resolutions by title only? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
14A, Resolution Number 3225, a resolution approving the transfer of volume cap in connection with private activity bond issues and related matters.
Let's go ahead and do that in a second. Motion to approve by Alderman Silsby. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Hayden. Do I hear discussion on this? Yes,
I
sir.
have a question, sir.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of the bonds?
Eric, you want to just explain the volume cap situation? It's with SWIDA, Alderman Randall. We have these at our availability, and unfortunately, we haven't had a project that's met the guidelines, so by allowing them to go back to SWIDA for opening it up, we still would have a chance to use them.
Right, we're allotted, based on our population, we're allotted X amount of dollars for private activity, usually industrial projects. And there's a state pool, and this is our portion of that pool. If we don't have a project to use it for, we can transfer to SWIDA, who then can use it in our region, in their region of authority. If not, it goes back to the state pool and could go anywhere in the
So
state.
we lose total control if we say no.
What defines the region?
Southwestern
SWIDA's-
Illinois.
I can't forget.
It's SWIDA's boundaries, but
SWIDA's boundary,
Rand,
I forget.
it's
Okay,
Madison,
so
St.
there is a
Clair.
distinct possibility that these funds could wind up as part of Route 3.
I don't know that for sure.
We don't know for sure. I mean, we've had some projects in Belleville that have happened with these funds.
We're hopeful that if we eventually get going on the Bell Valley 3 Industrial Park to 3rd phase, that we'll be able to be in a situation where we can put them possibly to use. But we're not there yet. Okay? I can't answer that question because I don't know it for a fact. We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve Resolution 3225, transferring the volume cap. Any other questions? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Rudowitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd ask for a motion to, let's see, did we read the next one by title only?
Yes.
We did both of them.
No, I didn't
Okay.
read it, I'm sorry. No, I
Okay,
did
go
not.
ahead, read by title only.
14B, Resolution Number 3226, urging the Governor and General Assembly to protect full funding of local government distributive fund revenues.
So moved.
Motion to approve, but we didn't, did we read it by title? We did approve that.
We did.
So this is the motion
Right,
to
for
approve the
both, yes.
resolution, and this is a second. This was in your packet. This is a sample resolution that came from IML to continuing to stand up and make sure that the governor's office knows that we are extremely concerned here, like we talked about, with the possibility of the local government distributed fund being cut by 50%. So that's why we're doing this. Alderman Kinsella?
Could you clarify who made it and who seconded, please?
The motion was made by Alderman Silsby, seconded by Alderman Schmidt.
Thank
Yes.
Any further discussion on the, yes, sir, Alderman White?
I'm all in favor of the city getting all the municipal funds. It's guaranteed. My concern is, and this proclamation is we're sending it to a governor and a legislature that has been elected and has committed to reducing our, I'm trying to be nice in the way I say, our financial troubles in the state, but let's say they're a little messy.
I don't just disagree. All we said, the mayors, when we met with some of the different committees, is that we understand there's some hard times and hard decisions, and it's not to say that, but 50% of the local fund would take 2.2 million at a minimum from this city's budget. That would be pretty devastating. I think all of us would agree that, you know, will we have to share some of the burden? I think we all agree that there's going to come a time that we're going to have to take a look at that. But I think we're making a statement here, and I think we're getting their attention to say, look just don't think you can do it without any discussion or give and take here with cities, because cities have to provide the local government, police and fire, and local streets that everything is important in state budget. We understand there's going to have to be cuts. We understand there's going to have to be adjustments. But for them to take 50% of our, which is basically our income tax, is a major concern. Alderman Hayden?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can I,
I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Judge, 1 second.
No, go ahead.
And I understand it, and I agree with it in principle. But what I'm saying is, in order for the state to do this legally, they would have to amend the state income tax rules as they exist. And the people doing this are the state legislators, are basically the same ones that got us into this mess we always are in now. I'm going to vote for the proclamation. I don't want to get you wrong on that. But what I'm saying is I think there ought to be more of a concentrated effort on a part of these people that we've been sending to Springfield for years and years to quit giving money away that we don't have. Unless we make that clear as a people, as a city, and as a state, we'll never get this situation fixed.
I'm not disagreeing with you there either. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I share Alderman White's concerns, and I agree with your concerns. We all know, Your Honor, that the state of Illinois is broke, and we all know that those cuts are going to be painful to various activities across the state, programs, services, etc. But on the same token, I do concur that the municipalities have to push back, and I believe this resolution, in conjunction with other municipalities, is pushing back so that we have a leg in the standing to say, look, we need to be consultated on these cuts, and so we don't start getting, just as they put unfunded mandates on us, Your Honor, we can't have funding cutted from our budgets without us having some advanced knowledge and at least be brought into the negotiation process. And I think that this lends towards that, because this is very, very serious.
I agree, and they're going to have to take some drastic action very soon to come up with a budget for July 1st. And so I think it's important that we say that we have grave concerns. There's going to have to be some give and take. We understand that. But I think right now the IML, the Southwestern Council of Mayors, and other bodies that we are connected to are all saying the same thing, that we have to, cities have to stick together, and we have to, not saying that we don't understand some drastic actions have to be taken, but we have to make sure that we're included in some of the decisions and that we're heard. Otherwise, it could just be devastating for cities. So that's the whole point of this. So we have a motion and a second to approve this resolution, or this resolution number 3226. If there's no further, I'll call for a roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, we'll go, any unfinished business? We'll go to miscellaneous and new business.
Ordinances.
I'm sorry.
The ordinances.
I'm sorry. Skipped right over it, my bifocals. I'd ask for a motion to read by title only, ordinance number 7853 and 7854. Do I hear? Second. Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Kinsella, to read those two ordinances by title only. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries.
15A, ordinance number 7853, the Nucleus Training Center.
We have a motion to approve ordinance number 7853. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Seibert. Do I hear discussion? Roll call on the first ordinance.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Schneider.
Motion carries. Do I hear a motion to approve ordinance number 7854? Motion by Alderman Kinsella. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Hayden. Do I hear any discussion? Roll call on ordinance number 7854.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall. Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Schneider.
No.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. Any other unfinished business now? Hearing now, we go to motor fuels and new business. Motor fuel claims in the amount of $23,221.06. What's your pleasure? Motion by Alderman Seibert, second by Alderman Hayden to pay the motor fuel claims. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall. Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd ask for a motion to go into executive session. City Council may go into executive to discuss personnel, litigation, workman's compensation, property acquisition or transfer of property, public participation, electoral board, and approval of executive session minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Kinsella. Any discussion on the motion to go into executive session? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into executive session. When we come back, we're going to have at least one motion or two motions coming back as stated. Thank you again, Madison. We're now back in regular session, and I'd ask for a motion from the council to approve a workman's comp settlement in the amount of $12,737.38. Motion by Alderman Schmidt. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Rudjewitz. Do I hear discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall. Anthony. Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove.
Aye.
Schneider.
Motion carries. I just want to tell you on your desk tonight, I placed a little history about the gas power plant down here on 6th Street, and I also put a book in here that was shared with Tim and I and some of my staff members about the time schedule. They should be starting the week of the 13th. It's going to have quite a bit of, it's going to be a 2 to 3 year project. So we're going to have disruption and traffic and other things for some time. But I asked them to make those copies, and they brought them by, so I put them on your tables so that everybody could see what's going on there.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Hayden. Who was the second? Let me guess. Alderman Glidden. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Seibert, we did.